What you need to know about SD cards. Complete guide with 2025 updates and some of the latest standards. I'm Hewie Poplock. Today we're diving deep into the SD cards with a comprehensive 2025 update. Over the next many minutes, we'll explore not just the basics, but the revolutionary changes happening in SD card technology this year, including breakthrough speeds and massive capacity increases that are reshaping the industry. Let's start with the star of our show, the SD card itself. This small device has been quietly revolutionizing portable storage for over 2 decades, and in 2025, it's more relevant than ever. An SD card is a portable memory storage device that's become ubiquitous in our digital lives, from professional cameras capturing 8K video to smartphones storing thousands of photos. These cards provide reliable, removable storage. They are advanced flash memory technology, and they use it, I should say, that retains data without power. And modern cards include sophisticated security features to protect your valuable data. SD stands for Secure Digital. These cards have evolved dramatically. Today's cards range from gigabytes to multiple terabytes. We may see 4 terabyte cards commercially available this year. They're not out yet. The indicators I had they would be out this year. They still got another month and a half. They still may be out there. But right now, the biggest I've seen available on Amazon's 2 terabyte. But that's a lot of data. And the 2 terabyte ones cost about $270. They come in three physical formats: standard SD, mini SD, and the popular micro SD. The flash memory technology has advanced to provide both speed and reliability that was unimaginable when SD cards first launched. I'll give you a chance to look over the slide. Let's see. Same slide, different words. After 25 years in the market, SD cards remain the dominant removable storage format. They successfully evolved from simple storage for early digital cameras to sophisticated devices supporting everything from professional 8K video recording to AI applications. This longevity speaks to both the format's flexibility and the industry's commitment to backward compatibility. Okay, when choosing SD cards in 2025, three factors matter the most. First, capacity. We now have 2 terabyte cards commercially available with SDUC technology, promising up to 128 terabytes. Second, speed classes. Focus on V ratings like V30, V60, and V90. And then third, durability features, including waterproofing, temperature resistance, and shock protection to make these cards suitable for extreme conditions. So as we look at that, the capacities, you can see you can get them. They used to be able to get them for even a lot smaller, but 32 gigabyte is probably the smallest in storage that you want to have. But they do increase. The durability features are waterproof in most temperatures. They're shock resistant. You can drop them all you want. I wouldn't bend it in half, but they're X-ray proof, so you don't have to worry about going through the airport, and they're magnet proof, so you don't have to worry about that as well. Now, the three classes, speed classes, there's the V30, which is 30 megabytes per second, which would be 4K video. There's V60, which is 60 megabytes per second, which would be for 8K and high frames per second. And then V90, which is 90 megabytes per second, and that's a professional speed. The higher the speed, the better the performance. We're going to talk more about that and where and when you can use it and so on. And there is a selection guide on here. Casual photography, the V30, 64 to 128 gigabytes. 4K video, the V60 should be about 250 gigabytes and more. And then the professional, the V90, would be 512 gigabytes, a terabyte, and 2 terabyte plus. High volume, consider two 4 terabyte cards. Well, they don't have 4 terabyte cards yet, so you get at least two terabyte cards. All right, it's going to get confusing. There's going to be a lot of letters floating around, and I'm going to kind of explain some of the nomenclature you don't have to worry about. They've pretty much done away with it, except it appears on all of the pieces of SD that are out there. So we're going to talk more about that. Uh, this comprehensive table serves for your reference guide for SD card specifications. Notice how capacity has grown exponentially. Speed classes have evolved to support modern applications, and operating conditions have expanded to meet industrial and automotive requirements. Keep this slide handy when making purchasing decisions, and I will send you a copy of the slides as a PDF to get to your members. Understanding read-write speeds is crucial for optimal performance. Read speed determines how quickly you can transfer files from the card to your computer, important for workflow efficiency. Write speeds affects how fast the data can be saved to the card itself, critical for burst photography and video recording. Both are measured in megabytes per second, with modern cards reaching impressive speeds. So you've got read and write, but it depends upon if you're reading from the SD card or writing to it, can make a difference of what speed you want. SD card speeds depend on several factors: the underlying flash memory technology, the card's capacity, and its official speed class rating. The industry has evolved through multiple classification systems, from the original class ratings through UHS classes to today's V class standards. Each evolution aimed to better serve emerging applications like 4K and 8K video. I'm going to clear my throat here for a moment. Okay, let's go to the next slide. SD card speed depends upon several factors: the underlying flash memory technology, the card's capacity, and its official speed class rating. The industry has evolved through multiple classification systems, the original class ratings through UHS classes to today's V class standards. Each evolution aimed at better serving the emerging standards like the 4 and 8K video. I think I mentioned that already. All right, here's something manufacturers don't always emphasize. Actual speeds can vary significantly from advertised speeds. Performance depends on the specific card model, your device's capabilities, and even the type of data being written. Always look for real-world testing results, not just the manufacturer's specifications, when making critical performance decisions. And I'm going to be talking in a couple of these slides coming up what some of these things are and what you're going to see on the cards and why don't pay attention to a lot of it. Since launching in 1999, SD cards have undergone continuous evolution. Flash memory technology has improved dramatically, delivering better reliability, significantly faster speeds. However, this constant evolution has created an unexpected problem: complexity that can confuse customers trying to make informed purchasing decisions. And that's why we're doing this presentation to you, because you're the ones going out and buying these cards, and you're looking at the card and saying, what the heck does all this mean on the card, and which one is the best one to use? And that's what we're going to try to tell you in this presentation. So here's the challenge modern consumers face. There are now 6 or 7 different symbols and markings. What started as helpful classifications has become overwhelming. A single card might display capacity type, speed class, UHS rating, video speed class, and an application performance class all at once, making it difficult to understand what you actually are buying. So you may see that you can see circled on the picture there the U3, the V90. It's got other names. There's all kinds of information that can be on that card that that you got to be able to figure out what the heck it all is, and that's what we're trying to do here. So, adding to the consumer confusion, however, manufacturers use different speed notations. Some quote straightforward megabytes per second measurements, while others use speed factors like 1000x. This makes direct comparison between brands unnecessarily difficult and often misleads consumers about actual performance capabilities. We're going to talk about what that 1000x means here in just a moment. The speed factor system has absorbed origins in CD-ROM technology from the 1990s. When CD-ROM drives read at 150 kilobytes per second, that was called 1x. So 1000x equals 150 megabytes per second times 1,000. I'm sorry. So 1000x equals 150 megabytes per second. A calculation that makes no sense in 2025 when many photographers never have seen a CD-ROM drive. So thankfully, this practice has been discontinued with newer formats like CF Express. This table shows the complete evolution of speed class standards. Notice how we've progressed from simple class numbers through UHF's ratings to today's V-class system. Each represents minimum sustained write speeds, but the proliferation of standards has created more confusion than clarity for customers. So those are the different speed classes uh, and so on. So let's see if we can make some sense to all of this. So here's the most important concept to understand. SD card classes define minimum continuous write speeds, not peak performance. This matters enormously for applications like 4K and 8K video recording, where the card must maintain consistent performance throughout the entire recording session. A card that can't maintain its rated speed will cause recording failures. The SD Card Association has changed speed class representation 3 times, as we've said. They started with the class 2, 4, 6, and 10. Then they moved to U1 and U2 and U3. Now we use V30 and V60 and V90. Each change aimed at simplifying things, but instead created layers of complexity as manufacturers continued using multiple systems simultaneously. In other words, and I think I mentioned this in another slide, that they put all of the classes that it belongs to on the card, so it makes it look like they have all kinds of benefits to it, and it really confuses all of us. So the transition from U class to V class was supposed to simplify it. U1 and U3 became V30, V60, and V90. However, instead of replacing old markings, manufacturers started including both systems on the same card, believing more symbols make their products appear superior to the competition. It's ridiculous. So here's where it really gets ridiculous. Manufacturers now put completely redundant symbols on cards. A card marked V30 automatically exceeds C10 and U3 standards, yet you'll see all 3 of those symbols displayed. This redundancy serves no purpose except to confuse you, the consumer, and makes cards appear more complex than necessary. So here's your key takeaway for cutting through the confusion. Focus only on the V-class ratings. If a card displays V30, V60, or V90, ignore all of the speed-related symbols. These V ratings automatically guarantee lower performance standards, making other markings irrelevant for 95% of the purchasing decisions. So it's the V30, the V60, and the V90 stamped on the card that's the important thing. Now for the exciting 2025 developments, and I had to change this a little bit because it wasn't true. SD Express represents the most significant advance in SD card technology in years, supporting speeds of 1 gigabit, that's gigabytes per second. SD Express cards can transfer a full resolution photo in milliseconds and handle data streams that were possible with previous generations. Now, I'm not sure if I can't remember if I put in one of the slides or not, but remember that the card can only go as fast as the equipment goes. So if you're using an old camera and you put in the fastest SD card, it's only going to it's only going to write data to that SD card as fast as the phone or the camera can write it. So it's if you have a camera and you want to put an SD card in, look at the manufacturer's user guide to see what it recommends. That's the fastest you're going to be able to go. So you don't have to spend a lot of money for an expensive card if you can't write to it at those speeds. You're just throwing money away. SDUC, the SD Ultra Capacity cards represent another 2025 breakthrough, although they're not available yet. These cards support up to 128 terabytes of storage capacity through commercial availability, though commercial availability starts at 4 terabytes this year. Right now, it's only at 2. I don't know if it'll reach 4 by the end of the year or not. To put this in perspective, a 4 terabyte SD card can store over 1 million high resolution photos or hundreds of hours of 4K video. So the ability and what these things can store is just humongous. Understanding UHS differences is crucial for performance optimization. UH1 cards are limited to 104 megabytes per second theoretical maximum and use a single row of contacts. The UHS2 cards can reach 312 megabytes per second and feature 2 rows of contacts for increased data throughput. The physical difference immediately visible when you examine the card's back. You'll see 1 row or you'll see 2 rows. And that makes it whether it's a UH1 or a UHS1 or a UHS2. You can identify UHS types through 2 clear methods. First, check the front markings. You'll see either a Roman numeral 1 or Roman numeral 2 printed alongside the card type. Second, examine the back contacts. UHS1 card will have a single row of metal contacts, while the UHS2 cards will have 2 distinct rows. This physical difference enables the higher performance. This table shows UHS speed classification for both UH1, UHS1, and UHS2 cards. Notice that both use the same U1 and U3 classifications, but the UHS2s have additional contacts, and that enables a much higher actual performance when paired with compatible devices. The minimum write speeds remain the same, but maximum performance differs dramatically. So if you have a camera that doesn't support the UHS2 card with the 2 rows, there's no sense in buying the more expensive card. So here's what you need to know about compatibility. Any SD card works in any SD compatible device, but performance depends upon the weakest link. To achieve UHS2 speeds, both your card and device must support UHS2. A UHS2 card in a UH1 device you're limited to UH1 speeds. Application performance class A1 and A2 measure something completely different from video speed classes. These ratings focus on random read-write performance measured in IOPS, input-output operations per second, which matters for smartphone app performance and mobile gaming rather than sequential video recording. The SD card market in 2025 is experiencing growth in exciting new sectors. Gaming devices demand higher performance storage. Automotive dash cams require reliable recording capabilities. AI devices need fast data processing. And industrial applications demand rugged, high-capacity storage. These trends are driving innovation beyond traditional photography markets. SD cards have come incredibly far in 25 years, and the 2025 marks yet another revolutionary leap forward. Focus on V-class ratings for simplicity, embrace the new SD Express and SDUC technologies for cutting-edge applications, and remember, the best SD card is the one that meets your specification and specific performance needs without paying for unnecessary features. Thank you for your attention, and let's take some questions.